Yeah. Up in the building. Yeah, we lighting up the scene. Crypto gems on radar, chasing every dream. Do your own research, that's the golden theme. We bring the facts, no cap, we keep it clean. Scrolling through the charts, got my eyes on the rise. Vibra got the info, got me feeling so wise. No hype, just the truth, yeah, we cutting through lies. Sharpen knowledge on the daily, watch the profits multiply. From Bitcoin to the altcoins, we digging for gold. Community so strong, never do what you're told. That's the motto, let the story unfold. We ain't selling you a dream, just the facts to behold. Vibra finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep the future bright. Vibra got your back, we ignite your flight. No pump and dump, just the realest advice. We break it all down, make it simple and nice. Every tip, every trick, got you rolling the dice. But with knowledge in your pocket, you can win every price. Vibra finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep your future bright. Vibra got your back, we ignite your flight. So when you're lost in the crypto sea, Vibra is the light, come vibe with me. Stay smart, stay sharp, and you'll always see the best gems shine with transparency.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Vibraville. Been a minute. Been this crazy cold weather. I don't know where you guys are at, but here it's like -10 with the wind chill, 20-mile-an-hour winds, and snow. Not pleasant, but hopefully tomorrow we get some announcement, or I just have some sort of gut feeling that Jerome is going to say something. Something's going to happen tomorrow that's going to spark a rally in the markets. I feel like the metals are about topped off. Silver at 112 or 113. That's crazy. So I'm thinking the metals, they're about ready to top, and maybe that money can roll into crypto. But we shall see. Man, it took me all day to set this computer up, so the stream might be all over the place. I didn't really have much time to put together a stream that makes sense. So you got any questions or anything you want me to go over, just ask, and we'll definitely get into it. But yeah, fam, it feels nice not having that computer that just constantly freezes whenever you go from website to website. Something's wrong with the bubbles, though. I can't even go to favorites, and like they don't even show up. So I don't know what's going on here. You know, it's always something, but it's all good. What up, Camo Joe? Well, LA chilly 81. Yeah, that's where you need to be. LA is the spot. Yeah, Samson's out there too. Let's get it. What up, Damien? Good to see you, my man. So yeah, guys, I don't know how you could be bearish right now. You know, even though the chart, they tell you one story. If you've been doing research behind the scenes, looking what's been, you know, seeing what's being built, I don't know how you could possibly be bearish right now. You know, everything is going exactly where we predicted. Real world assets, tokenized equities, tokenized debt, all these funds are coming on chain. And slowly, the amendments on the XRP ledger that are coming are exactly what's needed for institutional adoption. We covered Stellar so much in the future, or in the past, talking about what was going to happen in the future. You know, remember way back in the day, we found out that one of the Stellar Development Foundation developers, no, he wasn't a developer. I think he was on the board or CFO. He left and went to the DTCC. And then come to find out, a year or two later, the DTCC now recognizes his old company where he used to work and built out everything that is needed for Stellar to be adopted by businesses for payments. And I put out the tweet this morning that XLM is stuck at 20 cents while the chain is growing. How long can this last for? With the new ZK features from the X-Ray protocol, Stellar is about to explode. This is when the real money is made. Finding these gems is all I do. So the infrastructure is being laid. We just need legislation. That's the final step. And all of this is being coordinated, guys. It's all a giant game, right? The banks are screwed. They're all being handed money by the Fed. They're bleeding. And what person is going to go to JP Morgan when Coinbase offers the same exact services? Like they no longer have a reason to be relevant. And I think this is just a progression of where the economy is moving and just getting less people involved, more digital on the blockchain, and truth now replaces trust. And if you look, I was watching Cheeky Crypto's video. So in the last 12 months, on-chain operations. So conveniently, this feature here allows the institutions to KYC their customers or these protocols, lending protocols, so they can settle privately on the main chain. That's the key in the future. Is these private walled gardens were great in the past, but moving forward, that's not how things are going to work. Walled gardens, guys, are a thing of the past. You know, all the interviews with Jenny Johnson, with I forget the other girl's name. She was in an interview with Danelle Dixon. They were sitting on stage and she's laughing about everyone's freaking out about stable coins. Well, they're law enforcement's best friend. They can shut off any wallet they want. You know, so we're all being played here. Everything, they're going to give a problem. And I think AI right now, they're going to let it run out of control. They're going to let it get to the point where people are like, I'm sick of this. I don't want to have to worry about people seeing fakes of me on the internet or getting phone calls from someone you think is your family and it's an AI scam, or people trying to hack you constantly. Like it's going to bring so much just hell. We're going to be begging for some kind of solution. And I hope that that solution is already being built to where the AI that comes is only good. It's not malicious, but I feel like it's only amount of time before it gets in the hands of the wrong people. Like we see what happens with crypto when it's fully decentralized on pump.tires or on Pulse Chain. It just becomes scam after scam after scam. So we as a collective have pretty much blown it for crypto to be fully decentralized. People will scam and steal over than do the right thing. And that's sad. So now the laws are going to reflect how the people act. The government is just a reflection of the morality of the people. So if we weren't doing all the scams, then the laws would be completely different. But since, you know, everything is just how much can I extract? How much can I steal? There's money to take until more people are getting thrown in jail or we have to KYC everywhere. And I'm almost a fan of that at this point. Like I'd rather use a KYC DEX where I know I'm not getting front run or MEV-botted or sandwich attacked. You know, that's bullshit. And there's already technology out here that prevents that, but it's not what we're pushed to use. So I think that shift in the market, I pray it starts to happen soon. Like I never thought it would be this late, but it is what it is. But this new feature now with Stellar, and exactly right here, what Wealthy's saying with XRP, the same thing. 64, 65, 66. Pseudo accounts, liquidity pools, borrow, lend. That's exactly what is needed for where the world is at with adoption. It's slowly coming as it's needed. What do you know? The same thing with Stellar. It's happening with XRP. And then our other baby that we've been talking about so much is Flare. And who was a early founder, or not founder, an early seed fund investor into Flare? Ripple. And who else were they invested into? Centaura. And Centaura built out Firelight. which that's where we are staking our XRP, turning it into FT or STXRP, where it's liquid staked XRP earning points right now. But it's going to, more vaults are going to open up in April. But Centaura was funded by Ripple. So it's almost like Ripple knew 12 years ago what was coming down the road. And when the time was right, they funded Stellar. And then Stellar started to grow. And then out of that came Stronghold. The founders came from Ripple to start Stronghold. Another huge piece of the puzzle, I think. And then Ripple knew, all right, once this comes out, we're going to have a DeFi protocol. It's got to be different. So what did they do? Get Hugo Filion to create Flare and funded that. And Centaura, which built out all of the platforms that now Kraken, we're making DeFi rewards simple. And I use Kraken a lot. Like I have Kraken, Gemini, and Coinbase and Bitstamp, but I'm done with Bitstamp. I sent in an HBAR deposit, which is instant, and it took 2 months for me to get my money going back and forth. So I'm done with Bitstamp. I have an account there, but I'm just for like an emergency. But I'm done with them. But Kraken is awesome. And there's like a $75 bonus right now. If you don't have a Kraken account, like you need 2 or 3 exchanges in the bull run. And just to have in general, when shit happens or certain coins aren't listed, like everything's not just smooth yet, but that's coming. But we're making DeFi simple. Meet DeFi Earn, powered by Veda, Centaura, and Chaos Labs. Earn up to 8% on your assets, all within the Kraken app experience you already know and trust. No complicated setup, no technical steps, just start earning. So what are they doing? They're now using Firelight and Flare and Centaura and earning yield, and they're just taking a cut and giving it to the customers. But us, we are smarter than that. We're going to go directly to Firelight or to where they're going and do it ourselves and earn the full rewards. And that's what's so great about this stuff. Like, guys, I think everything is already planned out. Like, they already announced last year that the DTCC put out a patent saying that Stellar was the network that was going to be used for tokenizing. Where was it? It positioned Exxon as a potential infrastructure solution for systems handling nearly $4 quadrillion in securities annually, bolstering institutional credibility. And we already have Jenny Johnston and Franklin Templeton using Stellar, settling there. And now with the new ZK X-ray protocol, they have the privacy that is coming to the XRP ledger too. So all this is coming at once, guys. I don't know if the Clarity Act's going to come this week. Like, this is such a shit show. We might have the government shut down at the end of the week. Like, who the hell knows? It's just meant to shake you out. That's what the attention spans of people these days are so little. There has to be constant fear, constant shock. You know, FOMC, we're raising rates. We're not. We're staying the same. Now we have to focus on unemployment. The economy's great. Inflation cooled down. Unemployment's rising. It's always just there. It's a never-ending looking at old data and reacting versus using AI or some kind of system that you can at least predict outcomes. And there's just such better technology that the Fed needs to go away. And I think this is a controlled demolition of the economy, because you cannot just tokenize and bring everything that's happening right now on chain. There's too much manipulation, too much money getting funneled and embezzled and just sent out around the world. That can't happen. So I think they're going to collapse starting with an AI bubble with Scam Altman. He's running a Ponzi scheme over there at OpenAI. And I was looking at a couple other companies that they launched that are $4 billion valuations. And on the website, they have review from Stanford, from UC Berkeley, from Harvard and MIT. And if you look at the reviews, they're either interns or students of those programs. So they're people working there that made the reviews for the website. And you read the blueprint, or not the blueprints, but the website of what the company does and its mission, and it's just a complete joke. There's nothing there. And it's a $4 billion valuation. Like, they're just selling this shit to these people who have no idea what it is. So I think the AI bubble is going to blow up right around when the real estate crisis happens. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it gets kicked off right now because Japan. Maybe that's the catalyst. But we saw the US intervene and now start buying yen. Warren Buffett's buying yen, almost like they know it's so bad they have to step in. They said, oh, it's only $5 to $10 trillion. Bullshit. It's like 50 to 100 trillion that's wrapped up in Japan, in my opinion. So here we go. We've been talking about it for years. All these treasuries that are come into the market. And now we have stable coins ready to gobble them up. And I don't know if they're going to use this to create a panic. Who the hell knows? But we haven't seen the dollar do this in a while. Maybe the dollar is at lows where it hasn't been since 2022. So this is bad, guys, for the dollar. But it's good for our investments. Like that's how fucked up the world is. We need our currency to crash for everything to be good. When the dollar rises in value, the market bleeds because the whole world is so reliant on the dollar. Now that it actually comes down, it gives kind of reprise on the world and just lets their currencies actually become cheaper. And they're more so they get more dollars, which is actually a good thing at this point. But who knows what's going to happen, guys? Everything is so manipulated. Like even the Fed, right? How the fuck did they not lose all credibility when they came out and said, yeah, we just told you guys we added 1.2 million jobs. We were off actually by 900,000. So 75% of those, yeah, we screwed up and we're going to have to just erase those. So every company that was making decisions, every investment company out there looking at the economy, looking at data, trying to think of where to invest, they're now looking at wrong data. And it's all bullshit, guys. That's why, like, to me, it's so obvious and it's so easy. You just need to be patient. You put yourselves in the assets that are working with the DTCC. As much as Ripple and we hate what they're doing, I'm not retired and a millionaire where I can say, you know what? I don't want to support that shit. I need to make the money off of it. And the bad karma from supporting Ripple and CBDCs and all that shit, I'll give it back through Vibraville and having organic farms and having our own food supplies and hooking people up. So I'm not even worried about that. So I need to make money on this shit. So I've spent the last 6 years to the point where I almost know for a fact that holding Corium, Flare, Stronghold, Dovu, Solo, XRP, Dynex, PulseX, Velo, Saucer Swap, Jasmy, Hex, Research Coin, Block V, Relio, Clearpool, Canton, QUBIC. There's a bunch of others that aren't on here, but like these bags are so hyper suppressed that I'm just adding $50, $100 to everything where I can to try to get them back up to $500 because a $500 bag down here where these were back at the top is crazy. So I know, and then all the assets on Pulse Chain. And then we'll talk about the QUBIC stuff. I saw your comment here, Red Bull. All the coins. Yeah, QUBIC is the one. QUBIC is going to be I think the AI infrastructure where everything runs on. If they can pull off the AGI and it really is decentralized AGI and you need QUBIC to use the system, it's deflationary. And then you look at the founder Come From Beyond, his former projects that he's been involved in, it's nuts. Like they're top projects. Yeah, shout out BitBoy, guys. Look at that. The XRP army, buckle up. Shout out to our Supreme Commander. Yeah, there's our chickens crushing. In the barn, it's like minus 20 outside in the wind chill. This ball they have is a little heater in their little nook. You can't see it. It's behind me. We got it insulated back there with the heat lamp at night. But I put leaves in here, and probably there's like 6 to 8 inches of them, maybe even like a foot deep. And it is so insulated. And all they do is dig through them because they're so dumb. So it gives them something to do all day. You know, that's outside. Like, and it's so cold that the deer are coming up to our yard and wandering around in the daytime looking for food because they're so hungry. It's crazy. But yeah, look at that right here. Come From Beyond was the founder of NXT and IOTA. And we know for a fact he was involved with Bitcoin early on. And when we did an AMA with him and we sent him in questions for a Q stream thing we did, and we asked him, when did you start thinking about crypto and blockchain and AI? And he said 2000. So he'd been working on this shit for 8 years before Bitcoin's white paper was even launched and thinking about this stuff. And he said he's been working on QUBIC since 2004. So 20 years he's been thinking and building QUBIC. Just the world wasn't ready for it. So QUBIC is the one, but it's just like it's like Ethereum. You have ETH, and then you have Chainlink, and you have Quant, and you have, you know, Clearpool and Jasmy that are projects built on Ethereum. Well, that's exactly, if you go to QUBICtrade.com, this is the same thing. These are all of the QUBIC projects built on top of QUBIC, and QMINE is my favorite by far, and MLM. I love what Eco's doing. We're not going to talk about Garth. You know what went on right there. You know, I lost 2 billion QUBIC right now. Well, didn't lose it, but the founder got his wallet hacked. He lost 200 billion QUBIC, and there were 1.6 billion Garth tokens. And I don't know if the hacker didn't know what Garth was and didn't sell it because it's all sitting in there. But they're going to put out a new plan and roadmap, and the community is really supporting him. So that's awesome to see. And Rox is such a good dude, man. You feel bad for people when that shit happens. Like he gave his whole computer to the police department so they could look through it and figure out what happened. Like he took that shit serious. But man, QMINE at 3.5K. Damn. And every single week it feels like so QMINE right here, you don't need to. So yeah, bro, I'll start with QMINE. QMINE is a project where the founder has a bunch of mining rigs, and QMINE holding a share of it gets you back a portion of the rewards for QMINE. So every week, actually, I'll just go to the Discord. Every week, the payout has been going up. 1.94, 2.25. But if you look back, like back in the day, starting in October, it was 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.8, 1.1, 1.05. And now that he's added more mining rigs, there's more interest coming in from smart contract shares that they own. And that's the other thing. He just came out today, and where the hell was I before that? And he donated all of the smart contract shares that he bought to the QRWA DAO. Man, where was I? I think it was in here. So the QRWA holders are going to vote on what to do with it. And QRWA was another project he launched, but there's only 676 shares of those, and I missed out on them. I bid like 120 million, and they were going for like 400 or whatever. So QRWA is basically the DAO and the infrastructure that votes on QMINE and the whole operation, because Eco was in control of it and people were fudding it so bad, saying he can control everything, he could just lead, da 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 da. So QRWA came out, and now that is we'll talk about that. So that's now decentralized, and people can't FUD the shit out of it anymore. What up, Freddie? Honestly, I haven't been streaming consistently, bro. We were in Florida last week, and if once I start streaming every day, I was up to like 200 to 400. But if I stream once a week or so, I'll get like 50, 70 people the first time back. And two, it's also too, like, I don't like putting stupid clickbait titles up. Like, I think that shit's gay. So my VivIQ and my algorithm score sucks. But you know, I'll be working on that once I get back into it full time. Now that we're back, got the new computer up and running. But I don't care, bro. I'd rather have 50 people here that care and are passionate about it than 500 people that are just all over the place, in and out, in and out. However, some of them deer. Bro, honestly, I wanted to feed them. Like I feel bad, bro. It's 20 below. There's no food out there. They're eating like these dry ass branches. Like, I want to throw some apples out for them. So next time I go to the store, I'm gonna get some. So I'm gonna feed them, bro. I feel bad. I can't. I don't want to. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Harvesting a deer. I couldn't gut it and all that. And friends around here, there's so much deer meat that I can get whatever we want. Probably the time of the stream, just caught it by chance. It's 1:48 a.m. my country. So you must be in the UK. Thanks for replying. Yeah, bro. You got any questions, bro? I'm here to help you guys out. Like, any of you guys got questions about anything, just ask. So QMINE enters the smart contract share market. With this move, QMINE takes a decisive step into the market, strengthening diversification and establishing a solid foundation for additional revenue streams beyond mining. Current SG shares held by QMINE, 10 QX shares. So guys, look, QX, those are 10 billion cubic a piece. So that's 100 billion just in QX shares that he put in there. 67 MLM, those are 1.8. So that's another 200 billion, or no, sorry, 125 billion. So there's 300 MS Vault, 40 QBay. Like, he's got like hundreds of billions of assets that he donated to the community to add revenue, because some of these, like the QRWA shares, Nostromo, they pay back just like QMINE does. It's not just QMINE that pays back passive income. A bunch of protocols in QUBIC pay back passive incomes. UK. Yeah, what up, Dojo? Yeah, QMINE is now officially goated, bro. Well, I'm so glad it's the one that I went the hardest in. The blockchain you think Switch will launch on? Honestly, it's perfect right now, bro. On Ethereum Pulse Chain base, and maybe if you want to go to Binance, or I think that's it. Just where the degens are. Like, I think he's doing it perfectly, bro. Once the market turns, like, we're at an all-time low where with retail. Stellar. Yeah, he could do a Dex on Stellar, honestly. Now that they have everything there. Yeah. Well, so Stellar was Jeb McCaleb originally was at Ripple. So, and then he left and started Stellar. He was there for a while. And when Ripple was getting sued during the lawsuit, he was able to dump all his shares. He was never even mentioned in the lawsuit. And it's just like he got a free pass. And now he's launching rockets with Elon. Him and Elon launch rockets. So once you get to that level, you are officially in. And if you look up his family history, where he came from, like his family goes back a long time. So he's not just an anybody. So everything came from Ripple. Stronghold, which is another one that I'm super bullish on because of who they're working with. Their work, like you don't start up a company and then within a year you have IBM, an entire private stablecoin network and ledger for them to transact on. You don't make those connections unless you came from Ripple because they knew what was needed. To tap into the ACH payments network, Stronghold's automated clearinghouse functionality can be embedded into your interface, allowing you to maintain ownership of your customers and their experience. Like, guys, Stronghold has millions of online merchants already ready to go. And IBM has been using them since 2018. So we think none of this is happening, but they're all using the shit behind the scenes. We just don't see what's going on. It's like going to a magic show and, you only see what the magician wants you to see, but you're missing out on how the trick is done or whatever. But that's exactly what's going on. So Stronghold is a must-have built on Stellar. Like they're tackling payments for all of these different companies. And you can come and look at the website and see all the stuff that they're doing, all the products that they have and who they're already working with. And bro, like once you do a lot of research into this, it just becomes obvious. Like this wasn't just a random startup. So Stronghold, built on Stellar. And now Stellar conveniently comes out with that new ZK X-ray protocol, which is the privacy feature where institutions can now transact and use DeFi. They can tokenize all these funds. You can trade them, and people are anonymous on there, but they're registered. There's a KYC registration somewhere, whether it's with the Franklin Templeton, the company itself, or the company that is actually putting them on chain. They help control or maybe it's a third-party company that they use to do KYC, and they hold it only for, internal purposes. So it never gets released to the public, because that was the problem I've been saying all along. We can't have Goldman Sachs tokenize everything. Now all their transactions are on the blockchain, so I can go around and front run all their transactions and see what they're doing. Like that's not happening. So just conveniently, that privacy layer came out with Stellar last week to enable the institutions to have privacy and settle on the open public source blockchains, which that's the future. They all talk about it. Every time they're at one of the conferences, at Davos, at ETH Denver, and you see Stellar and these guys on stage, they all say private blockchains are not the answer. They were a great temporary solution, but now we're realizing, and we did a long time ago, that we need privacy and settling on the public networks, and they have already been chosen. Between Ripple and Stellar and Hedera and Ethereum, I think it's already game, set, match for who the winners are. And Flare is another one. That Flare was a startup, Ripple funded, and Firelight is where 500 institutions and companies and all the exchanges like Kraken are going to be earning yield on DeFi. It's all through Flare and Firelight, which was funded by Ripple through Centaura, Chaos, and Vita Labs. Like they funded and started all the companies they knew that they were going to need once they started unleashing their products. And when you're here every day and you see this and you see the research that people that I've met and became friends with in the space, that's how I'm super obsessed with it like this. These guys are the same way with doing research and putting out presentations. And when you see enough of the facts and what's public, the information, you can put 2 and 2 together. It becomes kind of obvious. And, Flare in 3 days, the last airdrop hits. So that means all of the inflation that's been happening every month when we get our airdrop, the supply has just been coming out. But after this month, we're going to be at like 85 billion, and there's only 20 left. And that's put aside for rewards for the network, for the foreseeable future, the team, everything. So those coins are already accounted for. So the inflation is now done after 3 days from now. So I've been accumulating Flare like crazy because they're working with the United States government. They're working with Google. They have a bunch of AI stuff that they're building that hasn't really been talked about. And the fact that Kraken is now using them, and you were going to see Gemini and Coinbase, they're all going to use this. They built it out for them. They already have deals signed with them. Hugo talked about it in interviews. All the institutions and exchanges that are going to be coming on board in January, February, and Q1 this year. So right now is I think the last chance in the next month or so to get Flare at a penny before I think it runs up to 50 cents to $1 in the next couple of years. So it's a 50 or 100x while you're earning 18% APY staked. Game changing. And it's just so obvious to me. But yeah, guys, it's these rumors of a U.S. bank potentially failing due to a missed margin call on a short position against silver. Is that just a rumor? But we do know JP Morgan filed an 8-K stating an unrealized loss of $5 billion from a silver short. So I've been hearing they took on Bear Stearns short position from 2010 on silver, and they've been carrying it this whole time. And now it's got so bad they were given 90 days a month or so ago to make due on this. So I don't know if it actually happens or if they just end up paying fines and saying screw it. But I think silver is near its peak. And I think that is when we see the pivot over to crypto. Bitcoin 89, ETH back to 3K. Guys, I really think something's going to happen this week. Like the market, like I said earlier, the least amount of people in retail are here right now. The least amount of YouTube views ever. Like this is the worst bear market, lowest amount of retail here ever. Smart, bro. And I know Goo is too. I know Goo's got a big bag of Flare because he knows. But what do you think the top will be? I think like 56, 5,700 for gold and like 120 for silver, 125. That's what I think. But I sold all my silver and I put it into Pokemon and crypto. So I bought mine at $12, got out at 50 and 70. And I still have, I only got like 10 ounces left. I left a little bit, but I should just go dump that too. And put it all into Flare. No way in 5 years it'll even come close. So where was yeah, so QMINE, guys. Now we got hundreds of billions of assets that are paying passive income. It gives a ton of credibility to the projects. You got to love it. So shout out to Eco. And on top of that too, QMINE strategic ownership in the new game coming out. QMINE has secured ownership of the most valuable resource in the game. The project controls 4 water towers, which already contain over 500,000 liters. In addition, QMINE owns a water purification station that processes water through 6 cisterns, each with a capacity of 1 million liters. At the very start, 3 million liters of purified water will be available across these cisterns. To the best of my knowledge, represents 90% of the water. In a survival-based game, water is not optional, it's essential. Every player needs 3 to 4 liters a day to survive. Water pricing will be decided by QMINE token holders with a defined range of 10,000 per liter to 100,000 per liter. All revenue generated from water sales will be distributed to QMINE token holders. God, this is crazy. Like, Eco does not have to be doing this, and he just keeps making it more and more and more juice. What's your take on Pulse Chain? I sacked on Prove X. I did too. I sacked what I could afford, $500. I'm a freaking pleb. But he's not going to launch it till the market's ripping, bro. So until we have the market turn around, I don't think we're going to hear shit. There is no top. Central banks are loading up because the dollar is collapsing. DJ's trying to short. 130.50 be the ceiling. It's foot to support if it goes higher then. See, I thought that this is the top now because they're really cutting back on the buying and selling of it, making it hard. And because of all the people wanting to cash in, they're going to have to do something about it. Bro, it just feels like once silver gets that high, it starts to mess up the economy. Yeah, it's going to get real ugly, bro. You can't have $150 silver. Then every iPhone's now $2,000. Every Tesla just went up $6,000. Every solar or everyone that has solar panels on the roof, them shits just went up. Every computer just went up. Like, silver's so essential in building in the economy. I just can't see it getting that high, but everything's so fucked now. Who knows? It'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. But yeah, Switch.win, definitely the shit. Eco, absolutely crushing it. See what's going on in Discord. So yeah, they're all just figuring out what to do with this water and stuff. That's cool. Revo is still, bro. Revo is out of control. This guy needs mental help. So Dojo was in the QCAP Discord, and Revo was saying it was me. He thought it was freaking me under Dojo's name. Like, dude, the guy's got mental problems. It's crazy. But yeah, QMINE, shout out. Oh yeah, and this is all bullshit. The banks are screwed right now because yeah, stable coins are a threat, but 60% of their revenue comes from our deposits because they just take the money and just lend it out 100 times over. So if they pay you back 0.1% and they earn 20 on it. So now that they might have to pay 6 back, their whole system collapses. So it's such a joke. Load up on copper. That's next. Yeah, I just went through a jug. Bro, I probably have now close to 100 pounds of copper pennies rolled up, if not more. Like, it's all I've been doing for the last 6 months. I've been going to the bank. You can't anymore because Loomis stopped doing pennies. But I was buying the $25 boxes and just going through them and pulling all the copper pennies out. And we went through like $200, which 8 boxes, there's 50 rolls in each box. So I went through 400 rolls. And it was like 20% clip of good ones, 25%. So, you know, got a couple hundred rolls of them there. And I've been doing it for years too. just holding on to copper ones. And like even at Home Depot. So gardening fact, if you want your soil and your garden to grow, you in the springtime, right when you're like raking the dirt, kind of mulching through it, if you bury copper wire like 8 inches down, every like 16 inches, put a strip, however long your garden is. If it's 10 feet wide, put a 10-foot strip. You can do it every like 2 feet if you want, and lay copper wires down underneath. And then when you start your plants and you first plant them, put a little 8-inch copper wire right behind them. And everyone we did that for was twice the size. The tomato plants that we had big copper on, that grew with it for its growth, its whole life, they had double the amount of tomatoes. So it was awesome. Well, I bought a roll of, I don't know, it was probably 50 pounds or more at Home Depot a couple of years ago for like $200. And I just looked the other day and it was $600 for the same thing. So I loaded up because I saw this coming. So yeah, copper, I'm stacked on. I need more QUBIC. But yeah, guys, it's so obvious. The blue chips, I don't know why the bubbles don't work. Like my favorites ain't, it's bullshit. Like H-bar is another one. Like don't sleep on that. Like they just announced every one of NVIDIA and Intel's chips that are used for like drones that send out information or sensors that send out information every 10 seconds. That's all now done on Hedera's blockchain, but no price action. So the amount of usage the Hedera blockchain is going to have from the real world as drones become more prevalent with shipping and everything, all of the sensors, and on airplanes, sensors that transmit data every however many seconds, all on Hedera, but yet no price action. It's criminal. But guys, this is the opportunity. Like I've actually been selling, I've been going through my cardboard collection and pulling out the shittiest stuff that only sells in a bull market. Like these Pokemon things I have, there are 15 cards in there, but it's not a pack from a set. It's just 15 random cards repackaged. And I got them on clearance for $1.50 a piece. And I sold 5 of them for $40 plus shipping. And I had 30 of them. So I made like $400 or $500 on that and put half of it back into crypto. And guys, I know which ones are going to be the winners. It's obvious. The ones that have been building for 5, 6, 10, 12 plus years for this moment right now. And the Clarity Act, I guess it's coming this week. So we shall see if it gets passed. Because if not, I'm hearing it's going to be late into Q2. I don't know if it's a good thing or not. It's all a shit show. But if these prices stay low, it gives us time to buy a cent flare, under a cent stronghold, XRP under $2, Stellar at 20 cents. These are the times where the money is made. Use it to your advantage. Load up on the blue chips. And we will see you guys on the next.
Yeah. Up in the building. Yeah, we lighting up the scene. Crypto gems on radar, chasing every dream. Do your own research, that's the golden theme. We bring the facts, no cap, we keep it clean. Scrolling through the charts, got my eyes on the rise. Vibra got the info, got me feeling so wise. No hype, just the truth, yeah, we cutting through lies. Sharpen knowledge on the daily, watch the profits multiply. From Bitcoin to the altcoins, we digging for gold. Community so strong, never do what you're told. That's the motto, let the story unfold. We ain't selling you a dream, just the facts to behold. Vibra finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep the future bright. Vibra got your back, we ignite your flame. flight. No pump and dump, just the realest advice. We break it all down, make it simple and nice. Every tip, every trick, got you rolling the dice. But with knowledge in your pocket, you can win every price. Vibra finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep your future bright. Vibra got your back, we ignite your flight. So when you're lost in the crypto sea, Vibra's the light, come vibe with me. Stay smart, stay sharp, and you'll always see the best gems shine with transparency.